Have you ever spent hours staring at a book, only to realize you've read just one page? Or worse, forgotten everything the next day? What if I told you that you could study just 2 hours and get results equal to 12 hours? The secret is studying smarter, not harder. Today, you'll learn powerful science-backed techniques that make studying effortless. And if you struggle to remember math formulas or any tricky formula from other subjects, stay till the end for a powerful bonus trick. Step 1. The biggest mistakes: top passive studying first. Before learning what to do, let's eliminate what's ruining your study efficiency. The problem: most students waste time rereading, highlighting, and copying notes without actually understanding. This is passive learning, and it tricks you into thinking you're studying when you're actually not. The fix: switch to active recall, the single most powerful technique for real learning. So how do you apply this? Simple. First, read a short section, just 1 or 2 paragraphs. Then close the book and try to recall everything you just read, either by writing it down or saying it out loud. Once you're done, open the book again and check what you missed. Why does this work? Because every time you force yourself to recall, you strengthen your brain's memory retrieval pathways. This makes you remember much faster. Once you start testing yourself instead of just reading, you'll notice a huge improvement in retention. But remembering isn't enough, you also need to truly understand the topic. That's where the next technique comes in. Step 2. Learn like a genius, the Feynman Technique. Most people think they understand something just because they've read it. But real understanding comes when you can break it down so simply that even a 5-year-old could understand it. So, how do you apply this? First, take a blank sheet of paper and write down the concept as if you're teaching a child. If you get stuck or find yourself using complicated words, that's a sign you don't fully understand it yet. In this situation, just open your book, go back and relearn that part. Then simplify it even further and try again. Keep refining until you can explain it so clearly that even someone who has never heard of it before can grasp it instantly. Want to know why this works? The moment you struggle to explain something, you reveal the gaps in your understanding. This forces your brain to actively process the information, strengthening the neural connections that make it easier to recall later. By now, you know how to read actively instead of just passively consuming information. You also know how to simplify complex topics and truly understand them rather than just memorizing words. But even if you remember and understand something today, what about a week from now? Your brain is wired to forget things over time. Without the right strategy, your brain will start forgetting it. That's why the next step is crucial. Step 3. Lock it into your brain. Spaced repetition. You've learnt and understood it. Now let's make sure you never forget it. Your brain is designed to forget what it doesn't use. That's why just one-time studying isn't enough. But repeating everything daily isn't the answer either. The trick is to review at the right intervals so your brain keeps strengthening the memory. How to do this? First, before sleeping, the same day try recalling everything you learned without looking at your notes. If you get stuck, check what you missed. And next day, test yourself again. Then review after 3 days. Then after 1 week. Next, after 2 weeks. And finally after 1 month. Each time, recall before checking your notes. Just for 5 well-spaced reviews can make information stick for months or even years. And here's a secret: if you ever feel like you've forgotten something, that's actually a trick to help you remember it better. Instead of panicking and checking your book immediately, pause and try to recall as much as possible first. This forces your brain to reinforce the connections, locking the information in permanently. You now know how to study actively instead of just reading, and how to deeply understand any concept. And with spaced repetition, you've learned the secret to never forgetting what you've studied. But even with all these techniques, there's one thing that can completely ruin your focus and slow you down. Let's fix that in the next step. Step 4. Eliminate the focus killer: multitasking. Most people think they can study while checking their phone or listening to music with lyrics. But here's the truth: multitasking destroys focus. Your brain isn't built to handle multiple tasks at once. It just rapidly switches between them, making you slower and less effective. Why does this happen? Every time you get distracted, your brain takes time to regain deep focus. Studies show that after an unplanned distraction, it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus. But there's a way to train your brain to stay focused while still allowing breaks, by using planned focus sessions instead of random distractions. But how to do this? Simple. Use the 25-minute Pomodoro technique. Set a timer for 25 minutes of deep distraction-free study. Then take a 5-minute break. This works because your brain works faster under deadlines. Decide what to study beforehand so your brain knows exactly what to work on in those 25 minutes. Knowing a break comes helps you resist distractions. You can tell yourself, I'll check my phone after the timer ends. Since your break time is controlled, you won't lose hours to scrolling. Unlike random distractions, a planned break doesn't make you lose focus because your brain expects it. Next, reward yourself for staying focused after completing a study goal. This could be eating your favorite snack or playing a song you love. Anything that makes you feel good without derailing your study momentum. Very important, keep your phone away while studying. Listen to instrumental music or study in silence. This works because by removing distractions, training your brain to focus in controlled bursts, and rewarding yourself for progress, you make studying both efficient and enjoyable. Now you know how to study actively. Understand deeply, remember for the long term, and eliminate distractions. But even with all these techniques, your brain needs the right fuel and energy to function at its best. Let's unlock that in the next step. Step 5. Supercharge your brain, the right fuel, rest, and mental clarity. Think of your brain like an engine. What you fuel it with and how well you maintain it determines how efficiently it runs. So, how to keep your brain at peak performance? Eat brain-boosting foods. Fuel your brain with nuts and seeds, which are packed with omega-3s for memory. Dark chocolate increases focus and reduces stress. Berries improve brain function and prevent mental fatigue. Eggs and avocados boost concentration. Stay hydrated. Even 1% dehydration can lead to poor concentration and memory. Keep a bottle of water near you while studying. Move your body a 5-minute stretch or walk during breaks. This improves blood flow to your brain, keeping you sharp. Power naps for memory boost. A 20-minute nap after studying helps your brain process and store information better. But how to avoid oversleeping? Set an alarm for 20 minutes. Nap in a well-lit area to prevent deep sleep. 10-minute meditation for deep focus. Your brain is constantly bombarded with distractions. A quick meditation session helps clear your mind, making learning easier. Before studying, close your eyes, take deep breaths, and focus on your breathing for just 10 minutes. During breaks, if your mind feels exhausted, do a quick meditation session to refresh and regain focus. This works because a well-fueled brain learns faster, remembers more, and stays focused longer. Power naps and meditation reset your brain, reducing stress and sharpening focus. Now you know how to study actively. Understand deeply, remember longer. Eliminate distractions and fuel your brain. But let's be honest, none of these techniques will work if you don't start. And that's where procrastination traps most people. Don't worry, here's a scientifically proven trick to break free from it instantly. Final step, the 2-minute rule. Beat procrastination instantly. Your brain resists large tasks because they feel overwhelming. But what if you made the task so small that it's impossible to fail? Tell yourself, I'll just read one paragraph, or I'll solve just one math problem. Once you start, something powerful happens. Newton's first law kicks in. A body in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an external force. In simple terms, starting is the hardest part. But once you begin, momentum takes over. And before you know it, you've studied for 30+ minutes. But here's the catch, you need to protect this momentum. So, make sure to follow all the steps above and eliminate distractions, so no external force pulls you away from your flow. Finally, the 80/20 rule. Study what actually matters. Not everything you study is equally important. 80% of your results come from 20% of the topics. Identify the most important concepts and study them first. If you have extra time, go through the rest. This way, you prioritize what gives the best results instead of wasting time on less important details. Study smarter, not harder. Here comes the bonus hack. The best way to remember any formula. The secret to remembering any formula isn't memorizing. It's application. For the next few days, solve at least 5 problems using that formula. Each time, write it down before substituting the values. The more you engage with it, the more natural it becomes. After about a week, you'll notice something incredible. You won't even have to think about it. The formula will come to you effortlessly, just like remembering your favorite song lyrics without trying. You've just unlocked the smartest way to study. Now let's quickly recap everything. 1. Active recall. Test yourself instead of just reading to strengthen memory. 2. The Feynman Technique. Simplify concepts until you can teach them easily. 3. Spaced repetition. Review strategically over time so you never forget. 4. Eliminate distractions. Remove multitasking and use focused study sprints. 5. Power naps and meditation. Recharge your brain for better retention. 6. 80 by 20 rule. Prioritize high-value topics or maximum results. 7. The 2-minute rule. Overcome procrastination and build unstoppable momentum. Now it's your turn. Don't just listen. Start applying these techniques today, and after a week, comment the changes you observed. Comment below which technique are you going to try first, or do you have a personal study hack that works for you? Let's learn from each other. If this video helped, hit the like button and subscribe for more brain-boosting hacks. See you in the next one.